what did we see tonight? I thought tonight the biggest talking points of tonight were going to be who replaced Daniel Bryan. The main event of the evening, which was AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan in his first match on Smackdown Live. Why that was a wasted match on Smackdown, which should have been saved for a big pay-per-view. But now, in the midst of it all, you're thinking also, wow, Raw got Ember Moon, the AOP, and No Way Jose, the third of those who really cares. But who was SmackDown again? What great superstars from NXT were going to come to SmackDown? Just the Iconics. So the Iconic duo is now named the Iconics. We don't have, but that was the call-ups, and them coming up led to WWE blatantly saying, pretty much without having to say it themselves, Auska streak meant absolutely fucking nothing. Auska streak was nothing to Vince McMahon. He was just waiting to get to WrestleMania, waiting this whole time to just break that streak. He couldn't wait to break that streak, and he saved. Everyone was wondering, where's Carmella? Where's Carmella for her cash-in at WrestleMania? Because she got eliminated like that. In like 2 seconds, she came into the Battle Royal. The Battle Royal started. She has her Money in the Bank briefcase with her. She spins around. It's like, I got this, and whatever. Gets tossed out, and it's like, okay, she's going to be there later in the night to screw things up. No. They saved it for tonight. They saved the cash-in that they've been teasing for the last 3 or 4 weeks before WrestleMania that she's going to cash in tonight. And Auska streak was just thrown. No, Auska got buried tonight, plain and simple. Everything Triple H did, everything the production and everyone in NXT worked on to get Auska to be this unstoppable force was just buried, and the final nail in that coffin was tonight. Auska meant nothing to the main roster. Auska meant nothing to Vince McMahon. Auska meant nothing to anybody outside of NXT in that production front. Oh man, I gotta say, meth, cocaine, or whatever the hell these guys are doing for drugs must be a powerful thing, because these motherfuckers took the biggest fucking entity in the WWE right now and just killed it, and just killed it again. Killed it even worse than they did on Sunday. And I'll have more news on with this Saturday on Unscripted, for the potential for the backstage news on what could be headlining WrestleMania next year, and the fact that what they did on Sunday just made that match what could have been not possible now, because it just feels like Vince McMahon doesn't like to make money. You had the biggest match coming up that you had to do. You had one more year to build to, and you just threw it away, and you buried it a death tonight. It's just fucking pathetic. And speaking of this thing, BKZ Finest 646 on Twitter posted a tweet. This one stuck out to me. Carmella cashing in and winning on SmackDown Live simply tells me, as a fan, that Auska's streak wasn't taken seriously, and for a Flair to have it on her resume, this cash-in, to me, buried everything Auska had worked hard for. It makes me sick to even pay for the network. I couldn't have said it better myself. Really, I couldn't have said it better myself. When Auska made her debut at TLC, and she got put into a match with Emma, and that match went 50-50, pretty much. That should have told everybody right there that the main roster did not care about this streak. Then they went and tried to make her feel a little bit more special, made her the sole survivor at Survivor Series, gave her the first Women's Royal Rumble win, and then shit all over it at WrestleMania and tonight. This was absolutely fucking pathetic. And I don't have any idea why. Who's booking this shit? Road Dogg, if Road Dogg pitched this shit to Vince McMahon, or anybody pitched this shit to Vince McMahon, because I know it wasn't Triple H. Triple H kept Auska down in NXT for an extra year to build this streak up. And all the hard work, him, William Regal, Auska herself, and all the women who've come through NXT to help make the streak legitimate just got buried. This just didn't hurt Auska. This hurt NXT. This made Triple H look like a fool, and everybody who made that streak what it was. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people stop watching wrestling, watching WWE after tonight, because that was fucking pathetic. If you wanted the title off of Flair and you wanted to get Carmella to cash in, why didn't you do it at Mania? Why didn't you pull Seth Rollins? Both these women are down. Both these women are down. You hear Carmella's music, she runs to the ring, hopefully not waiting for another referee and actually being smart this time. Goes down, cashes in. Does her little kick to Auska. Auska rolls out of the ring. She kicks Auska, like going to get Auska to pin her. Auska rolls out of the ring. Charlotte comes up and gets a kick, gets tapped out or whatever from her finisher, her submission, where she hasn't done that in a long while. But Carmella wins at WrestleMania. You get a big WrestleMania moment, and Asuka's streak is intact. So apparently this, and like I said, we're going to do a draft, not a draft, but a Superstar Shakeup preview and predictions on Thursday. So I have an idea of what this is going to lead to for Charlotte, but we'll get to that when we do. This just reeks of political bullshit. And to give a Flair something that she didn't, a streak on their resume that they didn't need. Why? How does this help anybody? Yeah, it gives Carmella the title, which it would have made him. It would have looked bigger and been bigger at WrestleMania, but you didn't do it. Why? Why would you just ruin everything that Triple H worked for this woman to make her the big badass that could have fucking went up against a Ronda Rousey and actually be legitimate? Now let's talk to Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte at WrestleMania 35 in the main event. You know how fucking pathetic that'll be? If that match actually goes on at WrestleMania next year, if Ronda Rousey doesn't destroy Charlotte in 2 minutes, it's a fucking joke. Plain and simple. I don't even know what to say. That's fucking bullshit. Now when it comes to SmackDown's call-ups, they got the Iconics. Which, what's wrong with the Iconic duo? Why can't it just be Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the Iconic duo? It splashed right on the Titantron. Iconics. What the fuck is that? Seriously, what drugs are these people on? Oh, you're gonna say, oh, well, it's just a name. The Iconic duo was a great name. Iconics is just fucking stupid. Oh my goodness. So that's all they got. Where's Sanity? Where's Andrade Cien Almas? Johnny Gargano? Oh, he's down in NXT still. Anybody? Where is anybody else for SmackDown? Raw got AOP, Raw got Ember Moon, Raw got No Way Jose. Again, who cares? But SmackDown could use some help other than the tag teams because you have the Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers until, Superstar Shakeup next week. This was an absolute... I mean, the show was not bad tonight, but this moment for the women's division just took the women's division down many, many pegs. And if anybody remembers, Vince McMahon is a total fucking dumbass and obviously doesn't know what's best for business. They like to use that comment, what's best for business. How was any of this best for business? Somebody tell me that. I would love to know how ending Asuka's streak to a fucking tap out to a submission that wasn't even 100% in, if you noticed. When it's 100% in, her hands are both back, but she was leaning on one hand, and yet Asuka couldn't fight out of that. Asuka's ruined 100%. As I said on Sunday, Auska is just like everybody else. She's just another number she's just another number in the WWE's machine. She lost everything that she's good, like anything special about her, and there's nothing else you can really say. WWE really fucked over one of their biggest stars and could have made her bigger than life, but no. All for keep giving something to a Flair that didn't need it. So I hope Vince McMahon's happy, and I hope a lot of people just unsubscribe to the network. That 2 million subscribers count is probably going to go down very, very low now. So congratulations, Vince, you fucking asshole. Now on to positive news. So as I all saw last night, Paige had to retire. She finally retired. She's been retired for a couple months now. I'm wondering, what is Paige going to do in the WWE next? There was news that she came out this past week that at WrestleMania weekend she was being part of Total Divas again. She also has her movie Fighting With My Family coming out. So WWE's not going to just let her walk off into the sunset. They're going to have something for her to do. Honestly, didn't see this coming, but I should have seen this coming. You never know what could happen. This was a great decision. Shane McMahon names Paige the new SmackDown general manager.
Daniel's toughness, because of his passion,
Talking about Daniel Bryan.
Daniel's resolve to never let anyone take away his dream. We not only competed, but we won. And I think we can all agree that seeing Daniel Bryan in action was something magical, and he was born to do this. He has truly crossed back over to become a full-time in-ring performer and WWE superstar.
We're going to talk about it later, but after the conclusion of his match tonight, he took a nasty fall, a nasty bump, and I hope this doesn't end up being a detriment to his career, and hopefully what happened tonight doesn't, which I know wasn't supposed to happen this way. Hopefully this isn't going to lead to him having to gain another concussion, but we'll talk about it later.
Because of that, I have graciously accepted Daniel's resignation as SmackDown's general manager. It's okay, this is all good. It's all good. And since this is the land of opportunity, when one door closes, another yet opens. So allow me to introduce all of you to the new SmackDown General Manager. I give you Paige.
So it's great to see that they actually have something for Paige, and quite honestly, there was talk of oh, it's going to be Jeff Jarrett, it's going to be Hulk Hogan. No, guys, it wasn't. Jeff, maybe, no. But Hulk Hogan, no. This is the best choice for them. Paige can help out the WWE in some way, and this is the best way for her at this time. So I'm glad that they actually have something for Paige instead of just being well, we're just going to stick you off the TV.
I want to say thank you, because it really does mean the world to me, so thank you so much. I want to make this night truly special for every single one of you. So let's talk about Daniel Bryan. So who wants to see him in action tonight? Therefore, Daniel Bryan will face AJ
So, one problem with this. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, though the match was good until the end because of how it ended, this is a blockbuster pay-per-view quality match that these two should be getting. Yeah, I know you don't want to just have them go up against a jobber because nobody wants to see that. I'm pretty sure if you would have put not AJ Styles, but Daniel Bryan in a match against some jobber just to get him back onto SmackDown, I think the crowd would have probably booed because he had a short jobber match. So, but this was not the way to go with this. Just Bryan versus AJ Styles should be saved for Backlash or the Greatest Rumble ever, which tonight we did get another match added to the Greatest Rumble ever for the tag team titles. The Bludgeon Brothers would take on the winners of the Usos and the New Day. And oh my goodness, they finally hopefully listened to the fans. You had Big E with his whatever, New Orleans, and the graphics weren't there. It could be just because it's New Orleans, but I hope it is true. The graphics for the New Day entrance were not there, so I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I lost brain cells watching that portion of SmackDown. And we want pancake chants during the beginning of this match. Match got really good towards the end. On a roll into a Samoa drop for a 2 count. Woods starts getting vicious. Like I guess Jay's ribs, side of his ribs, is hurting him from WrestleMania because of the beating these two teams took to the Bludgeon Brothers. So he starts kicking the shit out of his ribs and telling them, "Get up!" and just starts kicking the shit out of him. Jimmy and Big E tag in. Jimmy eats a Uranagi backstabber for a 2 count, I believe. Super kick by Jimmy, who tags in Jay for the super fly splash for the 3 count, and going on to the greatest Rumble event, the Usos, who should have had an easy coast into the greatest Rumble ever, which I'm fine with the fact that they went this route. The greatest Rumble ever will see the Usos take on the Bludgeon Brothers, who, after a little bit of a feel-good moment for the Usos, the Bludgeon Brothers music hits, they come out. Luke Harper still has that scar on his face, which, hey, that's fine by me. They just hold their hammers up and let them know that we'll see you in 2 weeks. Natty versus Naomi, who really gives a fuck? Naomi won with a split-legged moonsault. That match came because early in the night, Naomi was being all happy about winning the women's uterus battle royal, as people love to call it. And Natty came in saying, "It's not cool that you won that match because everybody in the back you were the least likely person to win it." That's your argument, that she was the least likely person to win the match? Even people in the back were saying that? That's just fucking stupid. Just stupid. So, yeah, that was what that match came from. Now, after the match, we go back to Renee Young outside Shinsuke Nakamura's locker room wanting to ask him why he attacked AJ Styles after the match last at WrestleMania.
Shinsuke, a lot of people are calling your attack on AJ Styles reprehensible, a heinous act, and at the very least, poor sportsmanship. After so many years of anticipation, why would you tarnish your dream match?
I don't know what came over me. Maybe I got too emotional. I'm very, very sorry for what I did to AJ Styles.
He just does a little wink thing to Renee Young.
Shinsuke, clearly you're being very disingenuous. Please, can you give me an answer why you attacked AJ Styles?
Sorry, no speak English.
So the Shinsuke Nakamura heel turn, I think, is off to a little bit of a positive start. That was just fucking great. He's like, just disingenuously, like, "I'm sorry for what I did. I guess I got a little too emotional," because, of course, he played up that AJ Styles was too emotional to keep his title at WrestleMania. And then he was like, "Sorry, no speaking English," and just walks off. That was great. I found that part funny. Next, we have Charlotte about her match against Auska, and the biggest fucking bad blunder of all time. They obviously just don't have that clip. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
We left every ounce of energy. We left every ounce of emotion in that stadium that night. I mean, I know it was WrestleMania, but there was something different about that night. It was special. It was magical. It really was.
How many dicks did you have to suck? Did you have to suck Vince's, Triple H's, Kevin Dunn's, Road Dogg's to get that win? Because you beating Auska was the worst decision of all of WrestleMania, plain and simple.
So the question is, who am I going to make magic with next? Charlotte, I hear.
So Peyton Royce and Billie Kay make their debut on the Smackdown Live, and this is about 9 o'clock when this happens. I'm like, yesterday on Raw, we had, like, the very first match, we had Ember Moon make her debut. Two segments later, No Way Jose made his debut in the same hour. We get to 9 o'clock, and there's been no NXT call-ups, so I'm like, where's anybody? Are we getting anybody tonight? And then Peyton Royce and Billie Kay make their debut.
Trying to make some magic. Well, I just so happen to know a couple of wizards. Hi, I'm Charlotte, and I'd like to thank Auska and all the women on Smackdown Live, and every little baby who grows up to be a woman, and who else? Ooh, I'd like to thank my second grade math teacher, and then there's the Uber driver who brought me to the arena, and air for allowing me to breathe, and blah, blah, blah.
This was a good promo by these two, I will say, in my opinion.
Stop talking about a match that happened in the past, especially when you're looking at the future.
The future to be buried, like all people who come up to from NXT in their first year or so, they get buried. So, yeah.
Right now, it's out with the old and in with the iconics.
Again, may I ask, why was Iconic Duo not a suitable name for the main roster? They have been the Iconic Duo since they formed this team sometime in NXT, I think 2 years ago. But why did they change it from the Iconic Duo to the Iconics? Just lame, in my opinion. So Billy Kay goes to walk behind Charlotte. Charlotte looks over her shoulder and elbows Billy Kay while Peyton Royce and her attacks, and they just go all over Charlotte. They rip her out of her WrestleMania jacket because she brought her robe with her from WrestleMania. Just a nice little slap to Peyton Royce. Let's get you out of here. She tried to throw her through the ring ropes and that just didn't work. But she eats shades of K. Rolls her outside. And these two just beat the holy hell out of Charlotte. Honestly, I think everybody who was watching this should have known what was going to come with them beating her down. Carmella chant. You got a Carmella chant going on. You got a Carmella chant. They just and I was like, okay, they threw her into the ring post. Like, okay, is that going to be it? No, they weren't done yet. Not at all. They decided to pick Charlotte up again. Pick her up again. And go into the ring steps. Because, they threw out, and this was, I do like this though, they paid a little attention to detail. The arm that went into the ring steps is the same arm that Auska injured at WrestleMania. So instead of throwing it on the other arm, they actually threw it into the same arm that was compromised at WrestleMania. Just a little, nice little attention to detail that you don't often see on the main roster. They'll pick you up one more time, and they'll put it in the neck. Lift it up on the shoulders and just pull them onto the floor.
Charlotte's hurt.
I will have to say that is the way to make a debut in the WWE. What followed, I think everyone saw coming when they started beating up on Charlotte and she didn't get them away. As soon as the Shades of K went down, and because when Charlotte threw Peyton Royce out, I'm like, okay, she threw her out, and she's gonna take Billy Kay out too, and it's just gonna be her holding up the title. No, as soon as she eats the Shades of K, I'm pretty sure everybody with a brain should have known that what happens next was going to just show how fucking blind Vince McMahon is and how fucking stupid Vince McMahon's in. And that is Carmella cashing in her Money in the Bank. And you know what's funny? She couldn't wait and ask for a referee to come with her because every other referee was out in the aisleway. So she grabs I can't remember which referee she grabs, and she just grabs the referee, brings him in, hands him the briefcase, and he's like, "You want this? You want this?" And I swear they took like 2-3 minutes just to cash this thing in. Why? Like, usually, like, all of the Money in the Banks that I can remember, which is all of them, I'm pretty sure, as soon as they hand the briefcase, the referee goes over, no matter how beat down the champion is, which is the majority of the Money in the Bank briefcase cashes in, besides Baron Corbin and a couple other ones. But he's just, like, walking slowly over there, and I'm like, are they going to have her fail? Is Charlotte going to just come up and out of nowhere be Superwoman and beat her? No.
Doesn't the referee understand?
He walks to the rope like he's going to cash, like tell him that they're cashing in. He walks back to Carmella with the briefcase and asks her, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, seriously? What is up with this?" Next door.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carmella is cashing in her Money in the Bank contract.
Carmella's gonna win the championship. This is brilliant. This is it.
Charlotte can barely stand up.
Her God, she's finally gonna do it. There's the bell. Here we go.
One kick to the face.
Charlotte Flair is down. New champion.
And Auska was buried right then and there. Everything that Triple H, everything that Triple H, William Regal, the people down in NXT, Matt Bloom, everybody who made Auska what she was, to bring her up to WWE Raw and get her this main spot at WrestleMania. Everything, 914 days of undefeated. Nobody made her tap. Nobody pinned her. Technically, she hasn't been pinned yet, but that's no here nor there. It doesn't matter. She still lost her streak, and now this was for this. They kept the title on Charlotte to have a post WrestleMania moment instead of another WrestleMania moment. Why? What was the why? Of course, this isn't a surprise, actually. This isn't a fucking surprise at all. Vince McMahon shows that he does not care about his fans at all. I said my piece about this. Speaking of not caring what the fans say, the fans want, we have Rusev versus Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton, which this is the second of a sort of WrestleMania rematch without the champion being in the match. These three go, the winner faces Jinder Mahal at Backlash. So who is Jinder Mahal facing at the Greatest Royal Rumble? Because all titles on the line except for the women's titles. So I don't know why this match is happening at Backlash instead of at the Greatest Royal Rumble, when you had earlier in the night the Bludgeon Brothers facing off against the winner of the Usos and the New Day at Greatest Royal Rumble and not Backlash. So, okay. But Randy Orton pins Bobby Roode, and we have another 2 years in a row, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for the United States Championship this time around. Are you kidding me? Does WWE want me to actually watch the pay-per-view, or they want me to just sit there and vomit and drink bleach or drink something or take a noose and hang myself while I'm watching this fucking garbage? Backlash last year, Battleground. Anybody fucking remember Battleground? They had a pay-per-view between them, I'm pretty sure, but still. Anybody remember that Punjabi prison match? Fucking awful. So again, Rusev, the most over guy in the company. I'm like, okay, because he had Bobby Roode, he took the Orton back body drop onto the announce table, and then he puts Orton and hits him with a back body drop onto the announce table. He hits a Machka kick onto Bobby Roode. He puts him in the accolade. I'm like, okay, so if he actually taps out Bobby Roode, he's going to Backlash, and we'll have Roode versus Jinder Mahal, Rusev versus Jinder Mahal, which honestly nobody wants to see either because Jinder Mahal is awful. But no, Randy Orton comes in, he kicks Rusev, he kicks him in the back, Rusev ends up falling out of the ring. Rue tries to roll him up. Randy Orton gets up, hits an RKO, and he's going to Backlash for the second year in a row to face Jinder Mahal. Hopefully, whoever Jinder faces at the Greatest Rumble ever is somebody who can take the title off of him so we don't get this snooze fest garbage. Because it's been 1 year, Jinder has not improved, and Randy Orton needs to go to Raw. I was hoping Rusev would win this match so they can send in the Superstar Shakeup. Randy Orton goes to Raw because Randy Orton needs to go to Raw, turn heel, and be Randy Orton who joins up with the Authority again or does something. I don't know. What we need, heel Randy Orton and not babyface Randy Orton, who's going up for a second year in a row against Jinder Mahal at Backlash. So Backlash has Seth Rollins versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title. Roman versus Samoa Joe in either in a grudge match or a Universal Championship match, depending on what happens. And Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for a second year in a row. Why? Ugh. Kamala on the map gloats about her championship victory, yada yada yada. Then we had the match of the night, and for the majority, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. What can you say? These two are excellent. This was a damn good match until the end. Armbar by Bryan turns into a calf crusher by Styles, turns into almost a yes lock, turned into a roll up for only a 2 count towards the end of the match. Parry kick, then a lariat leads to a 2 count by Styles. Phenomenal forearm gets blocked with a kick to the gut, then a kick to the head. Bryan goes for the running knee. Styles blocks that and tries to go for the Styles Clash like he tried to do like he did with the Kinshasa on Sunday. Bryan turns it into the yes lock, but Styles gets his foot on the rope. As Bryan gets Styles into the trio row with some yes kicks, Bryan goes for a back suplex off of this spot was scary. Bryan goes for a back suplex, and I've seen people execute this perfectly. You do the back suplex, and the person turns and falls on your chest. Styles didn't fall on Daniel Bryan's chest. Styles fell on Daniel Bryan's face. Daniel Bryan's had concussion problems, and that's kept him out of the ring. So Daniel Bryan's second match back could honestly be his last if he ends up getting a concussion from this spot. Probably didn't help that the next thing happens. Shinsuke Nakamura comes in. Daniel Bryan's on his knees, and Shinsuke Nakamura hits him with a Kinshasa in the back of the head. Then that sends him to the outside, and he beats up AJ Styles. Low blows him, Kinshasa him. Then again, he picks him up and another low blow to end the show with Shinsuke Nakamura on the apron, smiling, like having a smile with his teeth, his mouth guard with the red teeth on it to end the show. So one call up for SmackDown. I don't understand why Raw got four people coming up while SmackDown got the iconic duo. I don't like the fact that they changed the name to the Iconics. That's fucking retarded. But this show was better with the shitty fact that they just buried Auska. They buried Auska and everything Triple H did for that woman, and everything that NXT did for her, and it's just fucking pathetic that they did that. So, yeah. SmackDown Live. We'll see. We're going to have the Superstar Shakeup next week. We'll see what happens. I have a few ideas of who's going where, especially with the results of tonight. No I'm trying to see anomalous, which I'm surprised about. No Sanity. No anybody else. I'm like, you had Almas lose the title, and just like when Bobby Roode lost the title at Brooklyn, and he came up on SmackDown the next Tuesday. Why wasn't Almas here on tonight or Monday? I don't know. This was a better show than yesterday for sure. They had Daniel Bryan. You can't have a worse show with Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, even if you have that finish that you did. The match was fucking great until then. You had pretty much the final burial of Auska. They might as well just send her on her way back to Japan because she's got nothing now. I did listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin's review of WrestleMania, especially the portion of Auska versus Charlotte, and he said this doesn't hurt Auska, and I have to disagree 110%. That match hurt Auska. She has nothing. She is nothing but another number, and this whole thing tonight ruined. It made it even worse. This even proved more that Auska has nothing and she is nothing in WWE now. They're going to break her down, and they're going to build her up in their image because that's all WWE on the main roster loves to do. Fuck your damn character. Oh, you're an unbeatable badass? Well, fuck you. We're going to have you lose by tap out to somebody who doesn't even have the submission on 100%. That's Asuka's ending to her streak. And then tonight, instead of doing it at WrestleMania, which would have made it bigger, you heard the pop tonight. That pop would have been times a million at WrestleMania had she come down. Asuka, like I said, they could have had Asuka eat that kick that Charlotte did tonight. She goes to try and pin Asuka. Asuka rolls out of the ring because she just got kicked in the face. Charlotte gets up. She goes to try and attack Charlotte. She ends up knocking Charlotte down, getting her in, and then she hits her with the kick in the face. 1, 2, 3, and that would have been that. And Auska still has her unbeaten streak and doesn't look like a fucking person who wasn't at 100% because tapping out like that made Auska look fucking weak. Where do we go from here? I don't know. We'll see on Monday when we see who comes from Smackdown. We'll see next week who comes from Raw on Smackdown. I will have a review of tomorrow's night's NXT. I know it is the aftermath of WrestleMania of NXT TakeOver. We do have a new set of debuts coming to NXT, and I really want to give my opinion on the name and everything else. We will do that tomorrow, but that was your SmackDown Live review. Vince McMahon needs to go, and he needs to go now. And that's all I got to say about that. My name is The Franz. Find me on Twitter at The Franz. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFranz08. Hit that subscribe button, like this video. Give me a comment down below what you thought of WWE pretty much burying Asuka all the way. You thought it was bad on Sunday. Tonight just proved the fact that WWE did not care about that streak. Let me know about that. Let me know what you thought of AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan until you know the ending, as well as everything else, and what your thoughts are that we only got the Iconics or the Iconic Duo on SmackDown when Raw got more NXT call-ups than SmackDown did. So then, I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for NXT Aftermath of NXT TakeOver New Orleans.